any of y'all ever not been able to focus in class, no matter how hard you tried? Or you just can't seem to sit still and it feels like something inside of you is going to explode if you can't move around? These are two of just many symptoms of ADHD. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, ADHD is an attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is a brain disorder marked by an ongoing pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity and impulsivity that interferes with functioning or development. This is a very important subject to me because when I was 12 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Today I'm going to tell y'all some basic facts about ADHD, and hopefully y'all can learn more about the disorder and know that it's not just a made-up disease. I'm going to talk to you about the history of ADHD, basic symptoms, and the current medications that are used. ADHD was first established in 1902 by a British pediatrician, Sir George Still. He found a small abnormal defect in children that made them not be able to control their body as much. In 1936, benzedrine was approved by the FDA. It was the first known medicine to be able to help these kids control themselves and not show as many symptoms as they had been. In 1968, ADHD was not recognized as a mental disorder. Around that same time, the FDA sent out a list of all the mental disorders that were current, and it was not seen as one. Ritalin was then introduced, and in 1980, ADHD was seen as a mental disorder. Currently, we know that the average age to be diagnosed is 7 years old. Also, males are more likely to have ADHD than females. It is currently at a rate of 2 times as more. The cause of ADHD is still unknown, but we do know that it is hereditary, meaning that if your mom or dad has it or your grandparents have it, that you are way more likely to have it. Now that you have some history about ADHD, I'm now going to talk about some basic symptoms. 3 of the most well-known symptoms are you're constantly distracted, you have a hard time paying attention, and you're constantly fidgeting. Constantly fidgeting is the one I have the most issue with. Ever since I was a kid, I'd always have stuff in my hands and play with stuff, and I'm not able to sit still. It is a hard time also just to pay attention nowadays, considering how long college classes are. Because the college courses are so long, I end up having to get up and move around, or walk around aimlessly for 5 minutes and leave the class alone. These are some more symptoms that have to do with ADHD. They have problems with staying attention in tasks or playing. They not only follow through on instructions, but they can't do schoolwork, chores, or basic duties without having issues with them. They have problems organizing tasks and keeping them together. They lose things that are necessary for tasks. Similar to that, I lose my keys and my wallet every day. They are easily distracted, and they are very forgetful on basic activities and stuff that they need to do. These are all part of the inattentive side of the ADHD. The hyperactive side, they tend to fidget and squirm in their seats. They are unable to play or engage in hobbies quietly. They are constantly in motion on the go. They do stuff fast. They have a hard time not interrupting people, and they always finish each other's sentences. And they have trouble waiting for their turn, and they interrupt others. Another part about ADHD that isn't always known or said in the books or the research is about the way that they think. To me, my mind works very differently in some ways. Someone could say something about chocolate, and innately I automatically think about chocolate. And if for some reason that makes me think about Belgium, because they have good chocolate. And because of Belgium, I think of back in 9th grade geography, learning about all the countries. And because of that, I go back to thinking about how that one day in 9th grade I cheated. And then I think back about chocolate and Hershey's bar because they don't taste good. And then you try and figure out how the heck you got to Hershey's bar when your first response was thinking about something else. This is a huge issue with me, and it makes me not understand some things. And then I have to go back and it repeats the process over and over and over again. Now that we've talked about some of the symptoms, we all need to talk about that there is no current cure for ADHD. Some of the medication that is used nowadays is Ritalin, Vyvanse, Adderall, and Focalin. Now, I know everybody knows what Adderall is because we're in college, and all late night before test you want to take an Addy to study through, but these are serious medications and can have very harmful side effects. Some of the side effects being you can have sleep issues, you can have no will to eat, you can have stomach pain, and the next two are more serious side effects, but they have been known to happen. But you can have suicidal thoughts, heart, chest, and liver pain. I've now talked about the three areas: the history of ADHD, basic symptoms, and current medications. Hopefully that you learned today that this is a serious disease and it shouldn't be taken lightly, and that it is not just all made up.